Hello, it's me, Oscar from Marijuana Garden.
The night the mic stayed on Michael Jackson's secret studio transmission. Michael Jackson was more than the king of pop. He was an enigma wrapped in glitter and shadows, a musical genius, a global icon, and a figure haunted by fame. When he died in 2009, the world mourned. Official reports said cardiac arrest due to a prescription drug overdose, but hidden in the vaults of Studio 7 at Neverland Ranch, something was left behind. Something transmitted. Here's what few know. 2 weeks before his death, Michael had returned to Neverland for a brief visit. His goal? To record ambient vocals, just voice, no music. These sessions were private, no producers, no collaborators, just Michael, a reel-to-reel mic system, and a technician named Eric Mendez who swore never to speak publicly. But in 2015, Mendez anonymously leaked part of the audio to a deep web sound archive. What it contained sent chills through audio analysis communities. The file was labeled T7-letmeout.mp3. At first it sounds like standard breathwork and vocal warm-ups, but 2 minutes in, something shifts. Michael begins humming a melody not recognized in any of his catalogued works. The room suddenly distorts in reverb, as if the mic is picking up something beyond physical acoustics. Then his voice says clearly, "Michael Jackson, there's someone else here, don't turn it off." The mic remains live for 14 minutes. During that time, the sound waves oscillate into frequencies outside human vocal range, spiking into the 30 kHz range, typically only detected in military sonar equipment. Audio experts who analyze the files say it contains something called a subharmonic undertone layer, which is typically not recordable unless the device is picking up an electromagnetic field. In simpler terms, it wasn't just sound, it was a signal. At the 11-minute mark, a female voice enters, faint but clear. It's not singing, it's reciting. Female voice. He can't leave, he's woven in the rhythm, he's the echo now. Then silence, then a beat, one single rhythmic pulse that matches the BPM of Billie Jean, except it slows, and slows until it vanishes. When investigators retrieved the original hardware from the studio after Jackson's death, they found the tape was still rolling. The mic had remained on for 23 hours straight, recording empty air. But when analyzed spectrally, parts of the room's white noise formed visual waveform shapes that eerily resembled MJ's silhouette in mid-dance. Even stranger? The room's electromagnetic field had spiked massively during the session, despite all electricity being routed through isolation filters. One technician fainted while listening to the playback. Michael had often talked about feeling possessed by the music. In interviews, he described dancing as being taken over by something outside me. Was that just passion, or was he being literal? His final unreleased project was rumored to be titled Frequency 7. It was never released. Files vanished. Producers declined to comment, but a single handwritten note was found in the booth, taped to the mic stand. In bold red marker it said, "Don't let them silence the signal." Was Michael Jackson experimenting with sound as a dimensional tool? Did he believe that music could act as a transmitter, not just emotionally, but literally, a gateway? Or was the king of pop trying to leave us a message, not in lyrics but in resonance? Today, T7-letmeout.mp3 exists only in fragments. Those who listen to it online report strange symptoms. Headaches, phantom music playing days later, or dreams where Michael whispers, "Turn the mic back on. Michael Jackson, turn the mic back on." Paranormal researchers have dubbed the phenomenon the Jackson frequency. The mic he used? On display at an underground collector's studio in Berlin? Visitors say it hums faintly, even when unplugged. Our research and check will cover the following topics. 1. Investigate the historical existence and known details of recording studios at Michael Jackson's Neverland Ranch, specifically looking for any mention of Studio 7. 2. Research any public records or accounts of individuals named Eric Mendez who worked as technicians or engineers for Michael Jackson, particularly during his final years. 3. Search for any documented instances or discussions within audio analysis communities, music forums, or deep web archives regarding an alleged leaked audio file titled T7letmeout.mp3 or similar descriptions related to Michael Jackson. 4. Examine the scientific and audio engineering plausibility of the described phenomena, such as human vocal frequencies reaching 30 kHz, subharmonic undertone layers, and electromagnetic field spikes affecting audio recordings in a real-world context. 5. Look for any credible rumors, unreleased project titles, or documented concepts from Michael Jackson's career that align with the idea of music as a dimensional tool or transmitter, specifically searching for a project named Frequency 7. 6. Research the term, the Jackson frequency, to determine if it is a recognized phenomenon, urban legend, or conspiracy theory within paranormal research or pop culture discussions related to Michael Jackson. 7. Investigate any reports or claims about specific recording equipment, such as a microphone used by Michael Jackson being on display in Berlin, or exhibiting unusual unexplained properties. 8. Analyze Michael Jackson's public interviews, statements, or known personal beliefs for any indications that he literally felt possessed by music or considered sound to have properties beyond emotional and artistic expression. The legend of the night the mic stayed on is a curious one. It speaks to the enduring mystery surrounding Michael Jackson. Fans and curious minds alike have pondered this tale. It suggests a moment, a connection beyond the veil. The story paints a picture of a studio, perhaps forgotten, a microphone supposedly left active, capturing something otherworldly. This narrative taps into our desire for more from an artist we lost too soon. It hints at undiscovered secrets, unheard messages. This particular story, like many surrounding iconic figures, blends fact with fiction. It creates an intriguing puzzle for us to explore. The idea of a secret transmission is undeniably captivating. It promises a glimpse behind the curtain of a very private star. Michael Jackson meticulously crafted his public image. He also fiercely guarded his personal creative space. This makes the notion of an accidental, posthumous broadcast even more compelling. It feels like a final, unplanned encore. The allure of such tales often lies in their emotional resonance. For fans, it can feel like Michael is still communicating. It offers a sense of continued presence. Let's begin to unravel this fascinating mystery together. The concept of Studio 7 at Neverland Ranch is central to this mystery. It is often described as a secret, private recording space, a place unknown to many, even close collaborators. This idea fuels the imagination. It suggests a vault of unreleased material, personal experiments, perhaps even the source of the alleged secret transmission. The name Studio 7 itself has a certain mystique. It sounds official yet remains elusive in any credible documentation. However, when we examine Michael Jackson's known recording habits, Studio 7 doesn't quite fit. Michael was incredibly serious about his music. He worked in professional, state-of-the-art facilities. These studios were chosen for their technical capabilities. They were also chosen for their specific acoustic properties. While Neverland Ranch was his home and sanctuary, its primary recording facility was not a hidden Studio 7. He did have a home studio, but its nature was different. Neverland did feature a dance studio and a movie theater. Michael also had a personal recording setup there. This was more for demos, sketching out ideas and vocal practice. The Phantom Studio 7 remains more a product of imagination than documented fact. To understand Michael Jackson's recording process, we must look at where he truly worked. His primary creative hubs were legendary Los Angeles studios. Westlake Recording Studios is perhaps the most famous. This is where much of and came to life. These were not secret locations. They were bustling centers of musical creation. Michael chose them for their technical excellence. He also valued their experienced engineers. Another key location was Record One in Sherman Oaks. He worked extensively there, especially on later projects. This studio offered him the privacy he desired, but it was still a professional, known facility. He often block-booked these studios for extended periods. This allowed him to immerse himself fully in his work. He would live and breathe the music. His dedication was legendary among his collaborators. He demanded perfection from himself and his team. Michael's recording practices were meticulous and innovative. He was deeply involved in every aspect of production, from songwriting and arranging to vocal performance and mixing. The magic of his albums was forged in these well-equipped professional spaces, not in a mythical hidden room. The alleged audio file, often named, quote, T7-letmeout.mp3, quote, comma, is a cornerstone of the transmission myth. This file supposedly contains the mysterious audio, perhaps a voice, strange sounds, or even a message. The T7 prefix is often linked to the mythical Studio 7. The Let Me Out part of the name adds a chilling, desperate layer. It suggests a trapped entity, a plea for release. This is powerful imagery designed to evoke strong emotions. However, the critical issue with, quote, T7-letmeout.mp3, quote, is the lack of verifiable evidence. No credible, authenticated version of this file has ever surfaced. In the digital age, audio files can be easily created and manipulated. They can also be shared widely with little or no proof of origin. Without a clear chain of custody or expert analysis, any such file remains purely speculative. It's easy for rumors to spread online. A compelling story can make a file seem real. Without a verified original recording to analyze, quote, T7-letmeout.mp3, quote, remains a digital ghost. If strange sounds were indeed heard, what could explain them? We don't need to jump to supernatural conclusions. There are several known audio phenomena that can create unusual effects. One such effect is vocal subharmonics. These are tones produced below the fundamental frequency of a voice. Skilled vocalists can sometimes create them, intentionally or unintentionally. They can sound eerie or otherworldly if not understood. Michael had an incredible vocal range and control. Another common issue in recording studios is electromagnetic interference, or EMI. This can come from many sources: power lines, radio transmitters, even faulty equipment. EMI can manifest as hums, buzzes, static, or even faint voices. These are picked up by sensitive microphones and recording gear. A microphone left on, as the myth suggests, would be susceptible to such interference. What sounds like a whisper could be a distant radio signal. Or it could be the hum of an old amplifier. Audio equipment itself can also produce strange noises. Old wiring, failing components, or grounding issues can all contribute. In a complex studio environment with many interconnected devices, the potential for odd sounds is always present. These are mundane explanations, but often the most likely. These psychological factors, combined with real audio phenomena, can create a convincing illusion. The concept of the Jackson frequency is another intriguing part of this lore. It's a more abstract idea than a specific audio file. It suggests a unique vibrational energy associated with Michael Jackson. This frequency is not usually defined in strict scientific terms. Instead, it's often described in cultural or emotional ways. It represents the profound impact his music and persona had on people. It's the feeling his songs evoke, the energy he brought to his performances. Culturally, the Jackson frequency can be seen as a metaphor. It symbolizes the way his art resonated with millions globally. His music crossed borders and broke down barriers. It created a shared experience, a common emotional language. This collective resonance could be poetically termed a frequency. It's a way of describing the deep connection fans felt and still feel with him. It's the unique wavelength he seemed to broadcast on, a wavelength of joy, pain, love, and hope. This idea also taps into the notion of an artist's enduring influence. Even after his passing, Michael's music continues to inspire. It continues to be discovered by new generations. This lasting power can feel like a persistent frequency, a signal that doesn't fade. It's a testament to the timeless quality of his work. Beyond the cultural interpretation, the Jackson frequency often carries spiritual connotations. For some, it represents a belief in Michael's continued spiritual presence. It suggests that his essence, his energy, can still be felt. This aligns with various spiritual beliefs about life after death, and the idea that strong spirits can leave an imprint on the world, or even communicate in subtle ways. This is a deeply personal and often comforting idea for many. Michael Jackson himself was known to be a spiritual person. He explored various faiths and philosophies throughout his life. He often spoke about God, love, and the power of belief. His music frequently touched on spiritual themes. Songs like Will You Be There or Man in the Mirror have a clear spiritual dimension. This aspect of his life and work makes the idea of a spiritual frequency more plausible to some. It feels consistent with the man and his message. The frequency in this context becomes a metaphor for spiritual connection. It's not something to be measured with scientific instruments. It's felt in the heart in moments of inspiration or reflection. While cultural and spiritual interpretations of the Jackson frequency are rich with meaning, there's also the possibility of technical misinterpretation. Sometimes discussions about this frequency attempt to link it to actual physics or to specific audio phenomena that are not fully understood by the layperson. This is where the lines can blur between metaphor and pseudoscience. It's important to approach such claims with a degree of skepticism and a basic understanding of sound. For instance, some might misinterpret concepts like brainwaves or natural resonance, or they might hear about infrasound or ultrasound frequencies outside normal human hearing and then try to connect these to the Jackson frequency. However, there is no scientific basis for a unique detectable frequency emitted by a person living or deceased. That could be captured as a secret transmission. Sound requires a medium and a source of vibration. Sometimes unusual audio artifacts in recordings can be misinterpreted. Things like low-frequency hums from equipment or harmonics and overtones that create a complex sound. These might be perceived as something mysterious if one is looking for it. The story of The Night the Mic Stayed On is compelling. It blends mystery, technology, and the presence of a beloved artist. Claims of a secret Studio 7 or quote T7-letmeout.mp3 quote lack evidence. Michael Jackson's recording practices were professional and well documented. He worked in renowned studios, not hidden lairs. Sounds attributed to secret transmissions have plausible explanations. These range from audio phenomena to simple misinterpretations. The Jackson frequency is a cultural or spiritual metaphor. It describes the profound impact of his music. It speaks to the emotional connection he forged with millions. This frequency is real in the hearts and minds of his fans. It's the echo of his artistry, his message of love, and his call for a better world. It's a testament to his genius that his work continues to resonate. Myths and legends arise around figures who touch the world deeply. These stories reflect our desire to keep their spirit alive, to find new layers of meaning in their work, or even to hope for one last message. Ultimately, Michael Jackson's true legacy lies in his incredible body of work, his music, his videos, his humanitarian efforts. The music itself is the most profound message he could ever leave.